Hey everyone, look on the screen. Okay, on the middle is the beautiful Queen, Andreen McDonald, who unfortunately is no longer with us. You already know who they are suspecting. You already know. If you don't, hint, hint. Anyway, let's take a look at this video. Quick, brief video. This is going to be part A. Then stick around, please, for part B, which will be the commentary, okay, and the follow-up video. Make it make sense.
48 Hours investigation is looking into the disappearance and death of a millionaire businesswoman. Andreen McDonald turned her assisted living business into a $1 million company.
She seemed to have it all: a gorgeous home, high-end cars, and a lavish lifestyle. Peter Van Sant reports for this week's 48 Hours.
29-year-old Andreen McDonald, a businesswoman, wife, and mother who had turned her assisted living healthcare business into a $1 million enterprise, had seemingly vanished from her home, recalls childhood friend Mandy Hall.
I remember like a panic set in. Andreen is not the person to go take off somewhere no one knows where she is.
Her purse was still there, her keys were on the counter, and her vehicles were still there.
Investigator Frank Stubbs saw something startling in the bathroom.
I found there was blood on the wall in an area that was kind of odd. There was blood and hair on a light switch.
Andreen's husband of 10 years, Air Force Major Andreen McDonald, told investigators the last time he had seen his wife was the night before.
Did you see any signs of bruising on his body, any signs of any injuries, that perhaps he'd been in a struggle?
Nothing that we could determine.
But the next day, investigators discovered items inside Andreen's car that were not there during their initial search, including a shovel and, in a trash can, some clothing that appeared to be Andre's.
We found blood on the pocket of the jeans.
Although investigators had suspicions about Andre, without a body, none of the evidence collected proved that a murder had occurred. Law enforcement, along with volunteer search teams, family, and friends, came out to search for Andreen.
How many miles did you cover?
It was hundreds of miles.
Their search ended when a local farmer made a shocking discovery.
I saw what appeared to be a human skull.
That must have been a shock.
A shock, yes.
So Peter Van Sant is here with us to talk a little bit more about the case. So then what happens next?
Well, after they find the remains, it takes a couple of days to get a positive identification. But once they realize it is Andreen's remains that were discovered in this field, it's 133 days after she disappeared. Andre is arrested, charged with first-degree murder, and he pleads not guilty.
What did the investigation, the autopsy, reveal about what happened to Andreen?
This is one of the big problems in this, is that forensically this was incredibly difficult. Because the remains had been out in the open for 133 days, they noticed that there was a lot of damage to the head and neck. And Andre went on to tell investigators later that this was an accident that came as a result of this fight. She hit the floor, he kicked her, he didn't mean to kill her, she dies. Well, he said he was so angry after he had disposed of her body in the field that he goes back out there with a hammer, a claw hammer, and pulverizes her head and her neck. Now, was that because he was angry, or was that because he was trying to destroy evidence of what he had actually done? Getting back to your question about what they knew forensically, and because of that damage, they couldn't make a definitive finding that way. But Andre's story is it was all an accident. They were having this fight, an argument that turned into a fight. He admitted that he kicked her twice when she was on the floor, and that she had seemingly had the wind knocked out of her. At that moment, their 8-year-old daughter on the second floor inside the house, he sees her up there. So he says he went up, put her back into her bed, spent some time before she fell asleep, comes back and his wife is dead. That's Andre's story.
And so that's part of his defense, that this is like a self-defense kind of situation?
Self-defense situation. But in self-defense, okay, either of you, if this was an accident, wouldn't you call 911? Would you take a body out, dump it in the field, strip it naked, pour gasoline on it, try to burn the body, go take a hammer and pulverize it?
Yeah.
So the question in this case is, what will these jurors believe happen? Because he takes the stand. It's very dramatic in this case, and he tells this story.
Yeah.
And he puts all the blame on Andreen, not on himself.
It's a fascinating hour, and as you sort of point out, this is actually the American dream. These are two people who moved from another country, and they are incredibly successful together as a married couple.
She's on the cover of magazines. She lectures back in Jamaica, her home country. She came to America with nothing.
Right.
Andre helped put her through college. They start this assisted living business from nothing. It becomes a multi-million-dollar enterprise. They have 3 different centers. They're building a 4th. Everything's going great. And then Andreen ended up reconnecting with her first love back in Jamaica.
I don't want you to give away too much, because there are a lot of twists and turns in this. Peter, thank you so much. And everything that you see in the hour, there's even more that we couldn't get to. So I'm going to remind everyone that you can get to that in a podcast.
So you saw part A. Stick around for part B, the commentary. Wow.